troops are now being aligned from left to right in order to get them into their exact positions for the ceremony. Marines have served aboard Parris Island since 1891, and more than 1 million Marines have been trained here. They have departed Parris Island for combat in conflicts throughout the world, including places whose names are immediately associated with Marine courage and dedication. Names such as Guadalcanal, Tara, Iwo Jima, Busan, Incheon. Quezon has rich in history and tradition, and no Marine trained here forgets the sights and sounds of it. Following the command parade rest, the parade adjutant will give the command sound off, which signals the band to parade forward of the assembled Marines while playing martial music. The parade adjutant now presents the command to the commanding officer of troops, indicating that the parade is formed.
Who's up the 104 series? All present or accounted for. 2,108 series. All present or accounted for.
1,034 series. All present or accounted for.
Yes, all present or accounted for. Attention! Order! Headquarters! Green Garden Depot! Harris Island, North Carolina! 16 November 1990! Officer of the day, J.S. Chief One Officer, Ukraine! Officer of the day, Kumara S. One Officer Jeff. I order up J.D. Lynch, Jr., Major General, United States Marine Corps Commander. Over! And up! Hit!
Of the 2nd Recruit Training Battalion.
Ladies and gentlemen, in order to adequately provide the spiritual and religious needs of the recruits of Parris Island, Lay readers are assigned from each platoon to assist the chaplain in conducting an effective command religious program. These volunteers contributed to religious ministry by assisting at divine services, conducting devotions each evening in the squad bay, and providing input into the graduation prayer. Each lay reader who successfully completes the course of instruction is presented a certificate of appreciation and a letter of introduction to the chaplain at the next duty station. Please rise for the invocation. Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us to this day. We thank you for the time we have spent together here at boot camp. Help us, Lord, as we press on in life. Give us the courage to take up all the challenges that come our way, and give us the ability to overcome those challenges. Never let us forget that you are always with us. As the famous prayer, Footprints, says so well, you carried us through so many difficult days these past 3 months. We thank you, Lord, for all our drill instructors who challenged us. Many times they also carried us by their example and their professionalism. They also occasionally dropped us into the pit or the quarterdeck and then picked us up again, carrying us even higher. They have helped us to become strong, knowledgeable, and disciplined Marines so that they can proudly say that we are a worthy part of their beloved Marine Corps. We ask you to bless them, Lord, and to guide us all in the years ahead. Amen.
You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the commanding officer of the Recruit Training Regiment, Colonel E.L. Traynor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of our commanding general, Major General Lynch, we welcome you all to Parris Island. Preparing young men and women for future service in the Fleet Marine Forces requires a very demanding, rigorous training schedule, the likes of which we have here at Parris Island. They need a training schedule that challenges every recruit every day. And that's exactly what has occurred over the last 12 weeks. The young Marines standing behind me have met all those challenges and have deserved this day to be called Marine. I'm sure that you share their sense of pride and their sense of accomplishment, and well, you should. As their parents and loved ones, you are the ones that instilled in them the basic fundamental values, the character, the moral fiber that was in them long before they ever came to us. And that's what sustained them, and that's what contributed so significantly to their success in training. And we thank you very much for what you sent us. I'd be remiss if I didn't take an opportunity to recognize those Marines that have what is widely acclaimed to be the most difficult job in the Marine Corps this side of combat, that of the recruiters. Those recruiters, those Marines, toil daily, nationwide, encouraging qualified young applicants to take up the challenge. It's because of them that these Marines came to Parris Island in large measure. And we appreciate and recognize as the recruit trainers the job that those recruiters do. Without them, there'd be no Parris Island. The most important job, however, is upon receipt of those qualified young men and women is to turn them into U.S. Marines. That job, of course, involves on the drill instructor. Those Marines standing behind me, men wearing the campaign covers and the women over here to your right and my left with the scarlet cord around their left shoulder represent some of the finest members of the staff officers. They've been with the Marines since day one. Every day started well before sunrise, lasted well after sunset on many occasions. Together with their lovely officers, they went everywhere the Marine went. They did everything the Marine did. They did it 7 days a week for 3 months of rigorous training. This facing approximately 10 days of Astoria again. So it's like to go the normal 2-year tour. Many of them request to be extended beyond that 2-year tour. I hope you share my appreciation and admiration for the dedication that these Marine drill instructors do, and also the sacrifices that their families make on behalf of the Marines. Again, welcome you to Parris Island. We're delighted to have you with us. Welcome to the Marine Corps family. And now a few words to the new Marines. The Marines of Company F and Company O, welcome to the Marine Corps. It's a distinct privilege for me and an honor to be first officially address you, formally address you as Marines. But Marines you are, and Marines you will always be from this day forward. Approximately 3 months ago, your company commanders, your series commanders, your drill instructors, your battalion commanders all told you in their own way. No matter how you all tried, some would not make it. When you got ready for graduation this morning and looked around, you noticed that your ranks had thinned. What you were told was true. You've not only tried, you've succeeded. By all measures, you are Marines today. With that title comes a tremendous responsibility. Tremendous responsibility borne by the gallant deeds done by all those Marines who created proud heritage. That heritage is yours. Your responsibility from this day forward is to do absolutely nothing that will tarnish that heritage. For your final time here at Parris Island. Just prior to that dismissal, the Marine band here will strike up the Marine hymn. You've heard it many times before, but today it's your hymn also. You'll feel that special feeling, that pride swell up in you. It'll cause you to stand straighter and stand taller. It's a feeling very difficult to describe and certainly impossible to duplicate elsewhere. It's not taught in any manual. You learn it in no classroom, but it's fact, nonetheless. We call it esprit de corps. It's the most important thing you'll take from this island. Take it and keep it with you. Let it shine throughout your tour of the Marine Corps, whether that's for 3 years or 30-plus years. Take also our motto, Semper Fidelis, always faithful. And be always faithful to your God, to your family, to our country, and to our Corps. I wish you the very best. Congratulations. I'm proud of you all. I would serve with you anywhere in war or peace. Semper Fidelis.
Presenting the awards today is Colonel Trainer. He is accompanied by Sergeant Major McGraw, the Regimental Sergeant Major.
Persons to receive awards in all colors. Said, turf. Action. Staff. Present. Sword.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Drill trainer will now present the award. Please hold your applause until all of the awards have been presented. The honor graduate for Company F is Roswell Tanksley from Augusta, Georgia. Lance Corporal Tanksley was recruited by Sergeant Boatwright and was trained by senior drill instructor Staff Sergeant Morin. The honor graduate for Company O is Laura Bowman from Edwardsville, Illinois. PFC Bowman was recruited by Sergeant Ray and was trained by senior drill instructor Staff Sergeant Daniels. The honor graduate for Platoon 2104 is Brent Helms from Marshfield, North Carolina. Lance Corporal Helms is also the platoon high shooter, firing a score of 232 out of a possible 250 points. He was recruited by Sergeant Snyder and was trained by primary marksmanship instructor Corporal Streety. His senior drill instructor is Staff Sergeant Reed. The honor graduate for Platoon 2106 is William Briley II from Lima, Ohio. Lance Corporal Briley was recruited by Staff Sergeant Diamond and was trained by senior drill instructor Sergeant White. The honor graduate for Platoon 2108 is David Scroggins from East Carondelet, Illinois. Lance Corporal Scroggins was recruited by Gunnery Sergeant Mayfield and was trained by senior drill instructor Staff Sergeant Jones. The honor graduate for Platoon 4035 is Joshua Bryant from Fullerton, California. Lance Corporal Bryant was recruited by Sergeant Bush and was trained by senior drill instructor Staff Sergeant McLaughlin. The honor graduate for Platoon 2105 is Timothy Weber from Cincinnati, Ohio. PFC Weber is also the platoon high shooter, firing a score of 232. He was recruited by Gunnery Sergeant Long and was trained by primary marksmanship instructor Sergeant Parker. His senior drill instructor is Sergeant McCarthy. The honor graduate for Platoon 2109 is Wayne Colson from Stafford, Virginia. PFC Colson is also the platoon high shooter, firing a score of 230. He was recruited by Gunnery Sergeant Vardis and was trained by primary marksmanship instructor Sergeant Syke. His senior drill instructor is Gunnery Sergeant Kowinski. The high shooter of Platoon 2108 is Edwin Cabrera from Miami, Florida. PFC Cabrera fired a score of 227. He was recruited by Sergeant Dinero and was trained by primary marksmanship instructor Sergeant Camel. His senior drill instructor is Staff Sergeant Jones. The high shooter of platoon 2,110 is Justin Adams from Leesburg, Florida. PFC Adams fired a score of 230. He was recruited by Sergeant Cravat and was trained by primary marksmanship instructor Sergeant Maxey. His senior drill instructor is Staff Sergeant Warren. The high shooter of platoon 4034 is Danette Martin from Concord, Ohio. PFC Martin fired a score of 233. She was recruited by Sergeant Bailey and was trained by primary marksmanship instructor Sergeant Brown. Her senior drill instructor is Staff Sergeant Daniels. The high shooter for platoon 4035 is Christy Gunter from Brighton, Colorado. PFC Gunter fired a score of 222. She was recruited by Staff Sergeant Carver and was trained by primary marksmanship instructor Corporal Arnold. Her senior drill instructor is Staff Sergeant McLaughlin. The high shooter for platoon 2106 is David Christenberry from Van Wert, Ohio. Private Christenberry fired a score of 232. He was recruited by Sergeant Hanshoe and was trained by primary marksmanship instructor Sergeant Miller. His senior drill instructor is Sergeant Wyatt. Receiving the Physical Excellence Award for Company F is Michael King from Town Creek, Alabama. Private King achieved a score of 375. He was recruited by Sergeant Holman and was trained by senior drill instructor Staff Sergeant Warren. Receiving the Physical Excellence Award for Series 2104 is Mark Muller from Annapolis, Maryland. PFC Muller achieved a score of 373. He was recruited by Sergeant Sentner and was trained by senior drill instructor Staff Sergeant Reed. Receiving the Physical Excellence Award for Company O is Veronica Campbell from Slidell, Louisiana. PFC Campbell achieved a score of 321. She was recruited by Sergeant Littrell and was trained by senior drill instructor Staff Sergeant McLaughlin. Ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished graduates of Company F and Company O. The Marines these days color guard are Sergeant David Irwin, color bearer for the national colors, and Sergeant Bob Bauman, color bearer for the organizational colors. The color guards are PFC Carlos Boston and PFC Mark Gibson of platoon 2105.
Right. Haste.
During the passing review, you are reminded to rise as the national colors pass before you. After they have passed, you may be seated.
Right. Haste. Forward! March!
Instructor, Platoon 2105, Sergeant McCarthy. Senior Drill Instructor, Platoon 2106, Sergeant Wyatt. Gunnery Sergeant Glass and his graduating Marine. The Senior Drill Instructor, Platoon 2108, Staff Sergeant Jones. The Senior Drill Instructor, Platoon 2109, Gunnery Sergeant Gowinski. The Senior Drill Instructor, Platoon 2110, Staff Sergeant Warren. Staff Sergeant Jackson and her graduating Marines. The Senior Drill Instructor, Platoon 4034, Staff Sergeant Daniels. Senior Drill Instructor, Platoon 4035, Staff Sergeant McLaughlin. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure at this time to introduce to you the company officers of today's graduating companies. The commanding officer of Company F is Captain Lewis Burris from Knoxville, Tennessee. The commanding officer of Company O is Captain Angela Klingman from Mustang, Oklahoma. The series commander for the 2104 series is Captain Thomas Gorey from Hickory, North Carolina. The series commander of the 2108 series is First Lieutenant Matthew Clancy from Palm Harbor, Florida. The series commander of the 4034 series is Captain Laura Muhlenberg from Owensboro, Kentucky. The assistant series commander of the 2104 series is First Lieutenant Joe Cantlin from Houston, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, the officers of Company F and Company O. The company chief drill instructor of Company F is Gunnery Sergeant Alvin Thomas from Dublin, Georgia. The company chief drill instructor of Company O is Gunnery Sergeant Gemma Anthony from Port of Spain, Trinidad. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marines most responsible for the training of the graduates are the platoon drill instructors. Prior to assignment, each drill instructor takes a pledge which reads as follows. These recruits are entrusted to my care. I will train them to the best of my ability. I will develop them into smartly disciplined, physically fit, basically trained Marines, thoroughly indoctrinated in love of corps and country. I will demand of them and demonstrate by my own example the highest standards of personal conduct, morality, and professional skill. It is my pleasure at this time to introduce to you the Marines responsible for training Company F and Company O. Please hold your applause until all of the drill instructors have been introduced. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look to your left, the senior drill instructor of Platoon 2104 is Staff Sergeant Joseph Reed from La Plata, Maryland. Assisting in the training of Platoon 2104 are drill instructors Staff Sergeant Walter Lyons from Trucksville, Pennsylvania, Staff Sergeant Carlos Rivera from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Sergeant Scott Theakston from Fayette City, Pennsylvania. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 2105 is Sergeant William McCarthy from Yulee, Florida. Assisting in the training of Platoon 2105 are drill instructors Sergeant James Gilchrist from Augusta, Georgia, Sergeant Guy Rossbaugh from Immokalee, Florida, and Sergeant Kenneth Ochoa from Wayne, Michigan. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 2106 is Sergeant Robert Wyant from Monroe, New York. Assisting in the training of Platoon 2106 are drill instructors Sergeant Anthony Landrum from Louisville, Kentucky, Sergeant Carl Chapman from Edding, New Hampshire, and Sergeant Ronald Mouse from Franklin Square, New York. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 2108 is Staff Sergeant Terry Jones from Louisville, Kentucky. Assisting in the training of Platoon 2108 are drill instructors Staff Sergeant Kevin Shaw from Little Rock, Arkansas, and Sergeant Alan McMullen from Gulfport, Mississippi. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 2109 is Gunnery Sergeant Dennis Gowinski from Chicago, Illinois. Assisting in the training of Platoon 2109 are drill instructors Staff Sergeant Timothy McCurry from Marion, Indiana, Staff Sergeant Clive Bailey from Hyde Park, Massachusetts, and Sergeant Michael Kurzweil from Merton, Wisconsin. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 2110 is Staff Sergeant Eugene Morin from Augusta, Georgia. Assisting in the training of Platoon 2110 are drill instructors Staff Sergeant Edwin Barris from Arlington, Virginia, Staff Sergeant David Barbary from New Orleans, Louisiana, and Staff Sergeant Nathaniel Blunt from Selma, Alabama. The senior drill instructor of Platoon 4034 is Staff Sergeant Judy Daniels from Birmingham, Alabama. Assisting in the training of platoon 4034 are drill instructors Staff Sergeant Sharon Gutierrez from Appomattox, Virginia, Staff Sergeant Georgette Williams from Montreal, Quebec, and Sergeant Lois Reed from Levelland, Texas. The senior drill instructor of platoon 4035 is Staff Sergeant Lisa McLaughlin from Olympia, Washington. Assisting in the training of platoon 4035 are drill instructors Staff Sergeant Brenda Powell from Canandaigua, New York, and Sergeant Catherine James from Bolivar, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, the drill instructors of Company F and Company O. The platoon guidons that are about to be retired have been the identification flags of each platoon throughout recruit training. To each, the guidon is a symbol of spirit, dedication, teamwork, and unit identity.
Guard! Retire together! Out! Out!
Guard! Retire the guidon! Halt! Halt!
For your convenience, a photographer from the Public Affairs Office will be in front of the Iwo Jima Monument to assist you in taking photographs of you and your new Marine with your camera. Please rise for Anchors Away, the Marine's Hymn, and the final dismissal.
Senior drill instructors! Dismiss your platoon!
Get back!